Hello, everybody, and welcome to another quick tip episode on Health and Fitness Redefined. I'm your host, Anthony Amen. Before we dive into this week's episode, all about moving, we're going to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Central Peak. Guys, if you haven't checked it out already, please do go to Central Peak, CENTRAPEAK. We are offering 20% off on your first order. Use code Redefine20. That is Redefine20 for 20% off of your first order. Links and descriptions are going to be in today's show notes. So if you're feeling tired, sluggish, worn out, it could be because you just aren't moving enough and you have no energy of getting to the gym. So why not try a male vitality supplement that has been shown to help you get up, feel better, and increase your energy to get to the gym, to get moving more, to get walking more. Hint, hint. That is why we recommend Central Peak. It is chock full of supplements that are all meant to help you out without actually having testosterone in it, because we all know that ain't good for you. So check it out. My favorite, ashwagandha, does help a lot with cortisol levels. So thank you so much to Central Peak, and let's get on with this show. Today is all about moving. That's right. We want you to walk. And it is something we talk about a lot. But the question is, Anthony, I know, I need to move. But I have my Fitbit, I have my Apple Watch, and, how much do I need to move? What's the ideal range of walking? It is a question I get often. Well, first, let's start with some facts. First, walking 1 mile is equivalent to roughly 2,000 steps. Of course, it depends on your stride. So we're going to just use as an example for a mile is about 2,000 steps. An average American walks around 5,000 steps a day. So they're walking a little under 2.5 miles per day. So we know what we're moving, but how much do we need to move? Well, before we dive into anything, I just want to point out the obvious. If you're walking 2,000 steps, walking 2,001 is better than walking 2,000. So don't obsess over what number you're hitting, but instead just focus on having a gradual increase. We've done a lot of episodes on SMART goals. SMART goals, as you know, are realistic goals that are attainable that you can hit. So don't go from 2,000 steps to 15,000 steps. You're going to get discouraged, fall off the bandwagon, and not something we want to do. We want to increase habits, guys. That's what it's about, increasing habits. So small, attainable goal. Even if it's, 10 steps extra a week, it is better than what you were doing before. And that is all that really matters. But if you're like me and you want to know, hey, I want to know the facts. I want to see exactly what I need to be doing. Well, let's dive into that right now. So first, intensity is more important than distance. We want to get that heart rate up. So if you're going ahead and, let's say, doing a light jog and hitting 5,000 steps, that is a lot more beneficial than hitting 6,000 steps at a casual walk. So intensity is always going to play a role. That's why you want to get up, walk at a brisk pace, and that's going to have the best effect for everything we're going to get into. There's a few studies out on this. So first one, 2,000 steps as opposed to 6,000-7,000 steps a day had a decrease of 40 to 50% for heart attacks and strokes. I'm going to repeat that. An increase from 2,000, which is 1 mile, like we discussed, up to 3 miles, so 6,000, had a decrease, according to a medical journal, of 40 to 50% of heart attacks and strokes. That is an easy way, guys, if you're not hitting 6,000 steps a day, to really start getting yourself healthier. Get up to that 6,000 range. Absolutely imperative. The second thing, according to JAMA, taking 7,500 steps a day is considered active. It is not 10,000. 10,000 is totally arbitrary. It's just something that I think people like the nice whole round number. But 7,500 is what they do consider to be active, where you're going to see a lot of benefits. Another cool one was an increase from 2,700, which is about 1.25 miles, to 4,400 had a 41% lower mortality rate. That's a huge number. That's not 5-10%, which is what we're seeing with most things like working out at 20 extra minutes a week. This is 41%. That's take two people in a room and one of those people is going to have 41% chance. Like that's almost 50%. That's a coin flip. That is a lot. Like that alone would be like, oh my gosh, I need to move more. If you're not hitting at least that 4,400, I really even want you all around 6,000 steps a day. Please consider start just looking, doing little extra things. I talk on the phone. That's kind of my little secret about how I get up moving a lot. I refuse to sit down while on the phone. We have cell phones now. There's no more corded phones for those that remember those. So get up and move around and you'll be shocked how many steps you're just going to get by having a casual conversation. It's going to totally distract you. Or throwing some music, take a dog for a walk. Little things like that are going to have a huge impact. Anthony, why are you so against sitting? Well, sitting is linked to higher rates of heart attacks, strokes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, and of course, lower back pain. If you are suffering a lot from sciatica or lower back pain, it's probably because you're sitting too much. Get up and move. Decreasing your sedentary time has been shown to reduce cardiometabolic inflation and depression. You want to feel better? Get outside, get in the sun. There's so many benefits of being out in nature. You just feel better. So if you can, if it's not pouring rain or snowing like it always does here in the Northeast, get outside and move. Furthermore, if you're trying to lose weight and you want an ideal number, hey, Anthony, I want to more than just be active. I just want to be, super active. I want to have, what is that highest number I need to hit? That number, guys, is still, yet again, not 10,000. It is actually 15,000 steps a day has been shown to be the best for weight loss. I'm going to repeat that again. 15,000 steps a day is shown to be the most ideal for weight loss. Us humans are not meant to sit. You got to think about it. We've only started sitting in the last few hundred years. We were just talking to someone the other day about, could you imagine just being a part of the Roman Empire and having to march? Like you're marching from Rome to the Middle East. Could you even fathom that? Most people complain about walking a mile down the road. They were marching at a steady pace with everybody. They couldn't lag behind. They were marching from Rome to the Middle East. That's insane and definitely something worth thinking about. We need to move. It is what our bodies are used to. I am a big component as our bodies heal in motion. We are meant to move. It makes us feel better. You got to think about all the chronic diseases we've had in our lives, like through the history of being human. A lot of things, like we used to just move. Our bodies had to learn to heal and move. Otherwise, if we stayed in the same place, we would die. Either to the elements, either to something that's hunting us. There's a lot of things that would have killed us if we just had to lay around all the time. So we had to constantly move because otherwise we were dead no matter how sick or ill or any injuries that we may or may not have had. So I do really believe, guys, get up and move. I'm going to give you a quick little tip, something that I have created myself to help make sure that I'm walking enough. If you're not really measuring, this is one of my favorite things to do. I call it the radius rule. You may have heard this before on my show. So what is the radius rule? The radius rule is kind of the same thing as setting a step tracker, but instead of saying, hey, I'm going to hit 5,000 steps, it's I have to walk when things are within a certain distance. What's the radius from where I'm at? And that's how long I have to walk. So for example, start off small. Start off at 0.1 miles. That is very small. And say, hey, anything within 0.1 miles of my current location, I cannot drive to. It is my radius rule. I have to get up and walk. If I'm at a shopping center and I'm at one end and there's a store at the other end I need to go to, I'm walking. I can't break my own rule because that little thing is going to have a huge impact on what you do in your life. And then over time, you just expand out your radius. You go from 0.1, 0.3, 0.4. Before you know, you get a half a mile, guys. A half a mile is, like we said, 1,000 extra steps. So you have to walk 1,000 steps to your destination and then 1,000 steps back to your car. That's what? That's 2,000 steps. So if you're walking from 2,000, now you just double that to 4,000 just because you added in this half mile radius rule. Of course, little disclaimer, if there is something as of a hazard, like crossing a major highway or something that's going to put your life at risk, please don't walk across a major highway. Get in your car and drive. Do, of course, be safe with everything. But in general, make sure you're just holding yourself accountable to it. I see a lot of people drive from one shopping center into the other. Walk, guys. Walk, 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 walk. It is going to make all the world of difference. So yet again, just as a recap, set a radius rule, something that you feel is totally attainable, even if it's 100 feet, 200 feet, 300, doesn't matter, something. And make sure that you hold yourself to that, to walk that. We do know that the average American is taking 5,000 steps a day, but getting up to 6,000 to 7,000 has been shown to have 50% decrease for heart attacks and strokes. So if you want to go, you want to pick a number. If you're not hitting 7,500, do not be discouraged. You can all the way up and get there, but I think that is a good number for those that don't normally hit it. Set for 7,500 steps a day. If you are consistently hitting 7,500, and hoorah, that's easy, bump that goal up and keep going all the way up until you hit 15,000 steps a day. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us on this quick tip episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any more topics you would like me to hit, please reach out. Health Fitness Redefined Podcast at gmail.com. Health Fitness Redefined Podcast at gmail.com. And don't forget, subscribe to the show. Turn on all those bells and whistles. It means a lot. It shows support for what we're doing. I do this for you guys. So please, thank you so much for listening. And I'll see you next time. For us, we know what it's like to feel unhealthy, depressed, and downright defeated. We want to show others there is a right way, and through fitness, you can do anything you set your mind to. Fitness can give you that motivation, confidence, energy you need to bridge that mental gap and prevent you from missing important life events. We understand it's about feeling better, living longer, and being good examples for our kids. We understand this because we live it. And for us, that's the redefined difference.